My Hero Academia Season 4 is coming out soon, and that has me thinking, what kind of new quirks will we be seeing? I mean, we're obviously going to see the return of some of our favorite quirks, but it has me thinking about something else entirely. If I was in My Hero Academia, what kind of quirk would I want? I mean, I might not get a quirk, and we may not... I mean, we don't get to choose our quirks, just like we don't get to choose anything about ourselves. But we do, get to, think about what quirks we want to have, so... I have compiled a list of my top 10 quirks that I would want to have. Not a top 10 best characters list, not a top 10 most powerful, quirks list. Top 10 quirks I would want to have. So, let's get started. Now, before we do start, please don't hate in the comments. I get it if you don't, like the characters, but this is not a top 10 characters list. Now, number 10. At number 10, we have... Pause for suspense. We have... Pop-Off. Now, I know a lot of people are probably in the comments right now saying, how bad Minetta's character is. And I get it, you don't like him. But his, quirk, decently, well, it's a decent quirk. That's all I can say. We've seen it, be used for various things in the anime, and as we saw when he fought Midnight, it is decently powerful. However, if he, pulls off too many of them, his head starts to bleed. There's not much I can say about this one, but number 9. One for All. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be saying that it's the most powerful, so it should be, number 1, but no. Yes, it is the most physically powerful of all of them because it increases your physical ability to unbelievable levels. But it's more the process of gaining this ability than anything. First off, you have to, since you have to get it, you have to make your body physically capable of handling it. I mean, it does make logical sense that if your body can't handle it, it wouldn't be able, to get the power, but it's not that your body has to be physically capable or else it won't give you the power. If your body isn't physically capable of it, your arms just shoot off. Oh, right, I have legs, too. Okay, but furthermore, once you do get the power, you can't use it for a long time because using it then, with your powers you don't have control over it. So, you will destroy any body part that you use this power with. And Midoriya is just... took him over well into a season. And he didn't... It took him forever to get control, and he was smart. So then, there's also the fact that even if you do manage to get control over it, you might have crippled yourself beyond repair before you get control, because as seen with Midoriya, spoiler alert, by the end of the series, so far, end of the series, Midoriya has gotten to the point where if he uses his arms, the way he has been, he's going to lose ability to use his arms in general. So and then he realized that he has legs. So basically, you're probably going to cripple yourself. And in the sporting festival, Midoriya's hand got complete deformed permanently in his fight with Todoroki from using this, from using his ability. Number 8, creation. Now, creation, you get to create it whatever you want, but put simply, it's like all quirks. It's a physical ability that can have a, commit a toll on the body. And then, of course, there's also the fact that you have to, that if this is a fight, or a, really, bad scenario, you won't be able to think about what to do. Ultimately, you can't just randomly make things to help your situation out. So creation it's only good in certain scenarios, and becoming a hero, you can't really hope those random scenarios happen all the time. Number 7, hardening. Now, hardening makes it this high on the list because, while being one of my favorites, it's also just awesome. In a fight, hardening is very practical because it allows you to, to not only make it to where your hits do less damage to you, but you also hit harder. Now, because of this, it seems like it should be higher on the list, but it's only useful for fights and, potentially some rescue missions. But other than that, completely worthless. Well, maybe you can find casual uses for it, but don't really see any other way how it could be useful. But then moving on to number 6, acid. Basically, you can make acid. That's pretty much it. But the thing about this quirk is, acid comes in many different forms, so you can do a lot with it. We've seen it have many different things that you can do with it throughout the anime, but quite possibly my favorite is when in the combat part of the sports festival, when the person who has this quirk destroyed that stupid guy's belt so that he couldn't use his quirk, and then punched him in the face. I like that part, and it just goes to show how this quirk is good. But, as a downside, it can burn your skin if you use it too much. Then, at number 5, zero gravity. Now you might be saying, how is zero gravity this high on the list? Put it simply, practical. One touch to an opponent, and they are unable to touch the ground. They can't do anything without flying off. So, logical thing in a fight is just get one touch. Of course, there are people like Bakugo in the sports festival who you wouldn't be able to touch or do anything to, for that matter, because they're too awesome. But because of this, it's actually very practical in a fight. Rescue scenarios. If you're competent, it could be a perfect quirk for that. And then, of course, we have the fact that there is also the practical use where you can actually use it for work. It's discussed in the anime, but I won't go into much detail about it. And then, number 4, brainwash. Put it simply, you can brainwash people. You can control people, and they wouldn't be able to tell it's you. Because they don't have memory of what happens after it happens. Ultimately, the only real downside is they have to have their guard down. They can't, and of course, put simply, if they get a person bumping into them would knock them out of this state. So ultimately, it's pretty good, but also, but because of how useful this quirk can be, we're putting it up pretty high. Plus, I just imagine a person with this quirk, going up to someone like Bakugo and controlling him and having him go, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Okay, you get my point." Or using explosions. Okay, so number 3, erasure. Put it simply, in a world where there are a ton of people with superpowers, the best superpower is the one that can take those powers away. But of course, it does have its downsides with the fact that you have to be staring at the person the entire time. That you're doing it. Otherwise, it stops working. Of course, it's pretty good for me because, as you guys have probably noticed, I tend to stare. I see you. So this quirk can actually cause dry eye, but other than that, pretty solid quirk. But it doesn't. But all it does is cancel out quirks, so you have nothing to do for actual physical ability. Then, at number 2, we have Frog. I know, a lot of you are probably thinking how this got so high on the list, but, I mean, compared to others, it doesn't seem that significant, but Frog is awesome. You get that tongue, which has so many uses. You can, climb stuff. You can, go across, gaps. You can grab things. And it's really strong, too. Then you have the ability to jump really high and far, go pretty fast when running. Amazing swimming ability to stick to walls. You can camouflage yourself, decent healing ability because she's a frog. And if you want any more information, you might want to hear about this, but there's this other popular anime. It's an all-time classic. It's called Naruto. They have this martial art called frog kata, where you fight like a frog. Of course, it's mostly senjutsu, but completely unrelated. But frog kata, basically, you fight like a frog. I mean, sure, it's mostly senjutsu, but think about it like real-world animal styles fighting. If you can manage to fight like her, then boom, immediately awesome. So, before we go to our number 1 choice, I would like to talk about some honorable mentions. First honorable mention, invisibility. You are made invisible, and you can reflect light. However, to go completely invisible, you have to take off all your clothes. Also, the reflecting light part, honestly, what are you gonna do, shine in someone's eyes? Oh, I can't see. Oh, wait, I couldn't see you in the first place. I'll just, punch aimlessly until I hit you. Or rely on my other senses. And then, electrification. Basically, you wear electricity and blast it. And once, unless you get a gadget like this guy did, where that allows you to shoot it. But the main if it wasn't for, and if it was just this alone, it would have made it quite higher. It would have made it into the top 10. With the only downside being that it makes you stupid if you use too much of it. Yeah, it just makes you stupid. So, then I would like to mention high specs. Basically, super intelligence. Makes such super intelligence that the only person to ever have it, which was an animal, learned how to talk, and then became principal of UA High School, a school for superheroes. Then we have tape. Basically, you make tape. You shoot it out of your elbows. It's kind of like Spider-Man's webs, but actually kind of better. In the sense of how it's retractable. You can make it double-sided. And, it's more practical. Of course, this doesn't have an electrified version of it, but, So, then, half hot, half cold. Okay, calm down, all you Todoroki fans, but, half hot, half cold just isn't really what I want. It isn't my cup of tea. All you My Hero Academia fan, I might get that. But you see, half hot and half cold. One side, you have fire. The other, ice. The reason why I don't like it that much is because not only is it difficult to control, unless you're Todoroki, only one side can use ice and the other fire. So, ultimately, it doesn't really make sense in that much. Although you could literally give people the cold shoulder, which would be nice. Number 1. We have the most dangerous and the coolest power in all of My Hero Academia. Explosion. Put it simply, explosion. It's awesome. You basically sweat flammable substances. And you have the awesome ability to explode things. Pretty self-explanatory by the name, but it's not just good for blowing stuff up, but you also have the ability to, well, blow stuff up. But yeah, okay. So Bakugo has found multiple uses for how to use his quirk. He has found many ways of using it in fights, but he even said it himself, this is the most versatile quirk in UA, because, yeah, he has found various ways of using it, such as increasing his strength of throwing something, increasing his running speed by shooting explosions behind him. Yeah, or, one of my favorites was when he was fighting Deku. He used an explosion to launch himself in the air, did a flip above Deku, shot an explosion this way to slow and stop him, then shot an explosion at Deku's back. Ultimately, pretty versatile quirk. Now, with this in mind, this was just my list of quirks that I would want. Now, do you agree with my opinions? Do you have it? Would you rather have different quirks? Tell me in the comments section down below. And until next time, go beyond and plus ultra.